The Friday Morning Rant contains adult humor, adult content, adult language, adult themes. Pretty much anything that isn't PC will show up on this show. So if you don't like that, then piss off, Jack. You have the wrong podcast. It is the Friday Morning Rant with Shane Halfyard. It's Friday, December 20th, 2019. My God, where is the year gone, huh? Holy shit, it's just 5 days till Christmas. Man. Wow. Now, I think I talked about this once before. Well, before I go into the main topic, I want to talk about it again. There are people out there that will lodge complaints over Christmas decorations. Or, people wishing Merry Christmas. Or employers wishing people Merry Christmas. Or carolers. Or anything like that has to do with any form of religion or anything about Christmas. Because they don't believe in God, or they don't believe in Christmas, or that's not their religion. Well, here's what I have to say to that. Grow the fuck up. Okay? Let it go. It's not hurting you. Right? If you're offended by a Christmas tree, then you need to look back at what easily offends you. Because, dude, you need to pick your battles. Okay? Those aren't worth fighting over. Now, I don't believe in God. But I celebrate Christmas. But I celebrate it because I love giving gifts to my family, spend time with the kids. That's what I celebrate about Christmas. I consider it a family holiday, and that's how I handle things. Okay? But if someone wishes me a Merry Christmas, I wish them back a Merry Christmas. If someone says, God be with you, I just smile and say, and you too. Because do you know what someone is doing when they wish you a Merry Christmas? Or they're blessing you by God or whatever. They're wishing you well. And in the end, what is wrong with that? You need to take a good look at your strong moral beliefs and see how strong they might, see how if they, baba. You need to take a good look at yourself. Because if this is hurting you, then maybe your moral beliefs aren't as strong as you think they are. Okay? Words and symbols only have the power that you give them. Okay? So if you choose to be offended because I say Merry Christmas, you gave me the power over you to offend you. Okay? So if I choose to be offended when people who are generally meaning well by saying God be with you or God bless you or Happy Hanukkah or whatever other religions out there, yeah, then I'm not a very strong person. I am a very weak person to allow such a frivolous thing offend and upset me. Right? So, there's literally no need for that. Okay? None. Now, I'm here to talk about holiday memories. And as usually, if you're a fan of the show, if you listen to the show, you will know that I always talk about the good and the bad. So I'm going to get the bad one out anyway. And I don't, I can laugh at this now. It's 30 years later. I am well over it. And everyone has at least one bad Christmas story, right? Everyone. And I guarantee you that if you're going through a bad Christmas story this year, okay, just keep going with it, okay? Don't let it bring you down. Try not to let yourself get depressed. If you are getting depressed, get the help you need. Because if life is like a dark tunnel, if you just keep going forward, eventually you're going to come into the light again. Okay? That's how life can be sometimes. Life can be this murky, awful place that you're in. But if you just keep going forward, keep pushing yourself, telling yourself it will get better, it will get better. Right? And eventually, unless it's something very extreme, you'll be able to laugh about it. Okay? So here is my bad Christmas story. I might have told this once or twice. I don't know. But it's my show and I get to repeat myself if I want to. Okay, so. I believe I was between 10 and 12. Because I'm terrible at guessing my ages back then. So I was between 10 and 12. We were living in an apartment building on Douglas Avenue. And my father opens the door and goes, "Where is it?" where is the Atari game I got you for Christmas? Now, let me pause here. Pause this, okay? In my father's defense, I was notorious at finding my gifts and sometimes even opening them to look at them. Not when they were wrapped, like out of the package and then put them back in the package and reseal them. And I got caught doing that once. So, I only got caught once. I did this hundreds of times. So, my father had a right to suspect me. Okay? Unpause. Where is this, Shane? Where is the Atari game? Did you take it downstairs to Chris's place? Chris was my best friend at the time and still a close friend now. So, Chris, if you listen, hi, buddy. And I said, no, Dad, you got me an Atari game? So then I knew then I wasn't getting a Nintendo. Because if he got me an Atari game, there's no way he got me a Nintendo. So I said, Dad, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was scared because I knew he wouldn't believe me. So he grabbed me by the back of my neck, bent me over the bed, and just wailed on my ass with his belt. Right? Now, it might have been between 4 and 8 slaps across the ass. But it was the belt, and I didn't like it. So he walks off, because by then he usually got a confession out of me. Okay? And he storms off. And I'm, of course, now in my room playing with my Transformers. And I'm blubbering and crying. I'm like saying, keep in mind, I was saying this to myself. I was making damn sure he didn't hear any of this. When I grow up, I'm going to kick his ass. He's dead fucking me. I'm going to beat him up when I get bigger. He's fucking hitting me. Asshole. I'm crying away. Hey, about an hour goes by. My dad opens the door. And he goes, I'm sorry. I found the game. It was still under my bed. It was just behind some weights. I'm like still upset. I go, well, can I at least have it now? Implying that I paid for it with my ass. And he goes, no, you gotta wait till Christmas. Okay, so fast forward till Christmas Day. Okay, I open the game. It's called Vanguard. Now, I already love the name. Vanguard. Vanguard. Okay, think about that. That's the only way you can say that name. You can't go Vanguard. No, you can't. You have to go Vanguard. Right? So I popped it into my Atari. Picked up the controller. Started playing. And it fucking sucks! Oh my god. Okay. If you push the button to shoot your laser too fast, you blew up. If you held the button down to go to warp speed too long, you blew up. If you touch the sides of the screen, you blew up. You blew up, you blew up, you blew up, you blew up. Fuck! I said, Dad, this game isn't all that good. I'm sorry. So my dad, he picks up, tries it, goes, you're right, this game is no good. So as I'm telling him how bad the game is, I'm rubbing my ass, looking him in the face. And he kind of just turns away from me. That was my little, code of, I got an ass whooping for this piece of shit. And he understood the code. I think the next day he ordered pizza to try to make it up to me. I don't know. I don't know if that was the reason or he just felt like pizza. But we had pizza the next day. So that's the bad memory. Now, most of my good memories, because my family didn't really have any real traditions, okay? I know some families have these huge traditions where they do certain things at a certain time, Christmas, blah, blah, blah. My family didn't have that, okay? We would just open presents, watch cartoons, or TV, or whatever was on TV, because, Christmas Day usually sucks for TV, or back then anyway. And then we'd eat Christmas dinner at like 2, and then be done, over with. So there was no Christmas traditions that for our family. And I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. It was just our thing, right? So, but I remember, one of the things I remember, my dad would spoil me at Christmas. That was the one time a year he would go out of his way to really spoil me. Because I think part of it is that he never had a great Christmas when he was growing up. because it was a poor family, and I think there was 8 kids. I think. Anyway, a lot of kids, shit ton of kids. I don't want to count them all up right now, but anyway, so they didn't have a lot of money. So like every Christmas, they get like a pair of pants and maybe a shirt, and that would be their Christmas. So my dad, I think he wanted to relive Christmas through me and wanted to spoil me that way. I still think he would to this day if he could, but he can't. So anyway, so every year he'd go into a great amount of debt to get me like everything. I would give him a list of toys I wanted, and he would go out and get everything on the list, plus things that weren't on the list. But one year he got me, it was the early 80s, he got me Voltron. Okay? Now he didn't, there was different versions of the Voltron toy back then. Okay? There was one where there were plastic lions and big enough to hold the action figure in, right? And then there were ones that were die-cast steel, and that's what he got me. You couldn't hold, there was no figures in it. It didn't come with any toy weapons or anything like that. It just was the Voltron lions. If you don't know what Voltron is, it's 5 robotic lions that form a giant robot, and he was the Voltron defender of the universe. Okay, right? Like he is the shit. When I was a kid, I thought he was awesome. Right? You get the form the blazing sword. You go, I was like, yeah. So anyway, calm down, Jane. Calm down. Get a drink. Jay, chill out. So anyway, so I got him. Now the other negative thing about Christmas sometimes with my dad is he would make me feel guilty about how much something costs. I do not believe, looking back, that was his intent. I believe that he was trying to make me value the toy by telling me how much he spent on it. In case I break it, he let me know he can't get me another one. So he would say, like with the Voltron toy, for example, he would go, this Voltron toy cost me a lot of money. I gave the guy at the counter $100 for this Voltron toy, and he gave me back a penny and change. And I was like, oh, yeah, and I felt terrible for about 5 minutes, and then I go back to playing with the toy. But I think he was trying to tell me that if I break it, he can't afford to get me another one. But he could have just said something along the lines. He could have said, son, your toys are expensive. Please be careful with them, because if they break, I can't replace them. And that would have been fine. That would have been a good way to handle it. But, you don't get a manual when you become a parent, so he did the best he could with what he knew, right? Keep in mind, he was 17 when I was born, so come on. So, Voltron was awesome. He was the shit, man. I'm telling you, I was just like, the arms had his hands were lion heads, and his feet were lion heads, and his head was an open lion head with a face in it, and I'm just yeah. But the arms, you push these buttons, and the heads would shoot off like rockets. I was like, so I had him kicking all my Transformers' asses. I mean, he was the greatest toy I had ever, and I am trying to find this particular Voltron to have. So if any of you guys out there see it on eBay, let me know. Or anywhere else. So, that was one of my best Christmases. But other Christmas things that would go on in my life, right? Like I said, I don't have a lot of specific individual memories, but the things that we would do at Christmas would be that, I lived on a street called Douglas Avenue, and there were 3 apartment buildings. All right, I was in the first one, and then there was two more up ahead of me, right? And then there was woods. All right. Now apparently that woods is all cut down, and Douglas Avenue continues all the way up, like it's right. And my area wasn't the best area, but it wasn't as bad as Lower Douglas Avenue, right? There was, below Maple Street, Douglas Avenue was really bad. Above Maple Street, Douglas Avenue was kind of bad. And then above Broad Street, now that the new Douglas Avenue, and that's where all the more well-off people are. So my area would have drug dealers. There was a couple girls who were, you know what they were. I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, we had a lot of kids there, a lot of poor kids that lived there. Right? Now, my best friend, I had 2 good friends there. Chris Thibodeau and Kyle Dunphy, and then there was a few other kids that kind of came and gone, and some girls, some guys, there's a couple of Nicoles, there was like a Billy Joe, a Michael Hensby, there was, a few guys, there was a whole bunch of kids that came and gone there. But my two solid friends there were Chris Thibodeau and Kyle Dunphy. Now, Chris Thibodeau sometimes would go to his grandma's house and then come back on like the 26th or the 27th. So, what all the kids would do in the apartment, of course, would call each other up. That's what you did back then. You called each other up and said, "What'd you get for Christmas? Oh my God, that's awesome. I got this. Oh yeah." And then we'd go outside, we'd, goof around the snow, and we didn't have a play date. We didn't go, "Mom, Dad, can we set up a play date so I can play with Kyle?" No. Your curfew was in by dark. And on Christmas, though, they would yell out for you at Christmas because Christmas dinner would be ready. Like, my mother would come downstairs and go, "Shane, Christmas dinner, copy," and I'd go eat. But we go play, have fun, throwing snowballs. We wouldn't bring our toys outside because, they're new and we don't want to get them all snowed. But then the next day or two, my buddy Chris Tiller would show up, and then I'd go downstairs and look at all the stuff he got. He always got these cool. I mean, one year, Mask was a huge toy back then. Mask is these basically transforming vehicles and little tiny action figures. And he got this great big truck by Venom. Venom is the bad guy, right? And it opened up and had this huge cannon and shot this big rocket. And I mean, this thing, if it had hit the TV, it would have broke the damn TV. It was heavy. Okay? It was awesome. Now, we didn't actually discuss the playing dynamics between me and Chris, but looking back, it was kind of like this. We played almost all the video games at my place because I had my own system in my room, and we usually played all the action figure games and board games down at his place because his mother didn't care if we used the living room or not. In fact, the living room was pretty much empty. It just had like one couch and then the TV, and then the rest was just space for us to basically play in. She didn't care. That was one of the things about her, and this is why, Sheila, if you ever watch this show, I always loved you because you always let us play, let us do what we wanted, and you were always fair about it. And the other thing I loved about her is whenever the Dickie D came around, okay? Dickie D is this ice cream vendor, right? And it was basically like a bike, right? Like this bike that he was pedaling up, first of all, up this steep hill, fairly steep hill, and it was basically pedaling up this freezer full of ice cream treats. And he would sell to the kids. And as he's pedaling, the bell would ring, and everyone would want to get Dickie D. My parents couldn't afford to give me Dickie D every time the Dickie D showed up. But Sheila always slipped me $2. So I can get something to the Dickie D. She'd give Chris money, and then, I never asked her for it, but she'd slip me a $2 bill or some change. Go, get yourself a little something to Dickie D, right? And she was always good that way. That was one of those little things that I remember. But anyway, that's not Christmas. Sorry. So we go downstairs. Now, Chris, he was fairly spoiled. I thought my dad and mom spoiled me, but it wasn't just his mother. It was his entire family, and I think it was because he was the youngest, and he got spoiled. Now, he wasn't a spoiled brat. They just spoiled him a little bit with toys. Because he had all kinds of action figures. Action figures was his thing. And comics. He had tons of comics, tons of action figures. So we're playing, right? And we always play every year with his toys. He'd come up and look at my toys. I'd bring my Transformers down or my Voltron or whatever. And, of course, we'd just go back and forth and do that. And one of the toy etiquettes that goes unspoken, right, is, have you ever noticed, like you don't, when a kid gets a new toy, if he was your friend, you backed off, right? You played with your new toy until he was done playing with his new toy, and when you were done playing with your new toy, and then you trade up, right? Not trade for keepsies, right? Just you would trade. So that was one of the wonderful things I enjoyed about Christmas, is I got to hang out with my buddies. I got to see what they got. We used to goof off in the snow. We used to go sliding. That was just all wrapped up into it, right? And then as I got older, my son was born when I was 18. He was born just before Christmas. So then I got to enjoy my children open up gifts. And it's amazing how different one sibling is from another, isn't it? When my son was young, he would get his presents, and he'd open up one, and he would play with that toy for a little bit or look at it, and then, maybe get a snack, watch some TV, then open up another one. And it would literally take him all day. Sometimes he would have a gift or two to open up the next day. Because he just wasn't one of those ripping and tearing kids. Now my daughter Eleanor, complete opposite. She'd see her presents. These are all getting opened. She is opening them, and that's that. And she would rip them open and, see what she got. And Cassandra's the same way. She likes to open all her gifts all at once. So they're kind of similar. But I'm grateful that I raised them in such a way that they understand that I'm not going to go into debt over their Christmas. Okay? I will not. My father went into debt every year. My mother told me that all as I got older, when I grew up, that he would go hundreds and hundreds of dollars in debt for Christmas, especially over me. I would not do that for my children. I have a set budget, I stick to it, and that's that. And I explain that to them. And I usually tell them how much I got. I said, this is how much I have. Like this year, for example, I had 150 per kid. Okay? I have 4 kids, I had 150 per kid. I figure that's doing really good. So I tell them that. I say, this is what I got. Give me a list of what you want for Christmas, and I will do the best I can to get it for you. Well, as Marcellus got older, his taste in gifts, of course, changed. It went from, small action figures to wanting video games. So, when that happened, as he got older and his taste in game and presents became into more expensive areas, I sat him down and I said, look, your sister is going to seem like we spent way more money on her. And I think at the time I had $200 for him and for her. And I said to him, I spent $200 on each of you. But you need to keep in mind that your games are between $50 and $70 a piece, and you wanted a few games. I managed to get you 3 games and then, a couple little things. Your sister is into, My Little Ponies and action and other toys and stuffies and things like that. So her toys are costing between $10 to $20 a piece, so she got more. But it doesn't mean we spent more. And once I explained that to him, he fully understood and he was fine with it. And then as Eleanor got older and Cassandra came into the world, I had the same conversation with her because she's now 14 and her taste is a bit more expensive. Now, I don't know if I handled that right or not. So if any parents out there listening to me, tell me, give me your opinions, your thoughts on that subject and how you handled Christmas with your children. Because sometimes kids are going to get a little more than others under the tree, but did you spend more on each, or did you do the same thing? You have the set budget, and if so, how did you explain it to your children to ward away jealousy? I'd love to hear from that. I really would. Excuse me. So now Christmas is more for the children, of course. Me and our family don't really have any major traditions. I guess the only tradition we do have is my parents come over every Christmas, right? And I cook for them now. And I enjoy that. I enjoy cooking the turkey, and I enjoy, doing for my parents what they did for me is in feeding them good food. And of course, they're coming over Christmas Day. My mom's bringing her stuffing, and she still hasn't given me the recipe for the damn thing yet. Mom, you're getting old. You got to give it to me before you die, because reasons. Because I want it, you give it. That's why. But I've asked her, and every time I ask her, she's like, well, I'll just make it this year. It's like the one thing she doesn't want to give me because because people love her stuffing. My dad loves her stuffing. And I wouldn't say I overly love it, but I like it. But I want to be able to make it so she doesn't have to worry about it. Right? Like, I wouldn't say it's my favorite stuffing. I have a stuffing I make, which is, I make a stuffing out of apples and sausage and breadcrumbs and onion. And I know it doesn't sound right, but it's friggin' good. So, yeah. That's that about that thing. So yeah, that's the only tradition I think I have. But I'm enjoying my Christmas. And this year is going to be Ken's first Christmas with us because he just got back come here from the Philippines in January. And that's going to be fun seeing him at Christmas time, celebrating Christmas. It's probably going to be hard on him. He's going to be his Christmas away from home, from the Philippines. But I hope he enjoys himself a lot. I really do. But I think that's all I got to talk about for now. I'm not going to be back until either January 3rd or January 10th. Just so much on my plate going on. But I will be back then. This year's contest is all done. But if you want a chance to win a $25 gift card for yourself of your choice, all you have to do is 1, subscribe. 2, send me either an email at shanehalfyard@hotmail.com or leave a comment down below giving a show idea, ask a question, make any kind of comment. And as long as you're a subscriber, your name goes into the draw. I don't even have to read it. Your name will just go into the draw. Right? But I most likely will read all comments or suggestions or show ideas eventually. Okay? Well, I say that now because I'm such a small channel. And at the end of the year, if you leave your comment and you're a subscriber, or you email me, whatever, at the end of the year you'll be put in for the draw for a $100 gift card of your choice. So in December 2020, you can win a $100 gift card of your choice. You can enter as often as you want. You want to do it daily? Do it daily. You want to do it every week? So long as it is a constructive comment or some kind of issue that I can talk about. Like, if you're going to say I'm a dick, you're free to say that. And if you're a subscriber, I'm not going to count that. But if you go, Shane, I'm a subscriber, but you're a dick, and this is why, and you give some compelling arguments of why I'm a dick, I'll read that on the air, and you're in. Yeah, I'll put you in, right? You want to ask any kind of question, whether it's personal or my opinion on stuff, I will answer it, no matter how personal the question is. I have no shame in that because I'm a very open person. So those are my ground rules. That's it. You can enter as often as you want. Many will enter, few will win. Yeah, many will enter. My butt. I also want to take this time to thank my big 11 subscribers for listening and giving your comments and giving me your feedback when you can. I appreciate it. I am grateful for every single one of you. And I hope everyone who listens to this has a Merry Christmas or a Happy Holiday, whatever you celebrate. And I hope you have a wonderful new year. All right? Well, I guess that's it for now. So, I will talk to you guys in 2020. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.